Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to answer the question, do the new Cricut Infusible ink markers work on leather? So when I heard about these new Cricut Infusible ink products, I was very excited because I thought it would open up the opportunity to heat transfer onto other things, like permanent heat transfer onto other things besides just cotton or specific materials. But then I realized that their transfer paper, the heat transfer paper, and the markers all say that you can actually only use it with Cricut products, which is disappointing because they have created some really good blanks. So you can get ceramic coasters, you can get cork coasters, there's t-shirts and bags and all kinds of stuff. But to be honest, like, the t-shirts aren't going to come in my size, and I don't want to be limited to just that. So I'm actually really curious to see if the markers they've created will work on anything besides the materials, and they just aren't saying what because they can't be sure. So if you're also curious, I encourage you to stick around and we'll experiment. What we will need is I have a set of like the basic colors from the Cricut Infusible ink line. So there's 5 markers, brown. This one is supposed to be red, even though the marker is pink. On the outside, black, purple, and green. So just the basics. They do have other colors, a whole other set of them. You also need laser jet printer paper. So you can buy paper that works with your printer but is still a transfer. So you don't need both, you just need one or the other. So I just have some regular old printer paper. It's not necessarily laser jet paper. This is a paper I picked up from, I think, Staples. It's made with 95% sugar cane. So it doesn't smell like sugar and doesn't taste like sugar because, yes, I licked it to find out. And then I have some scrap materials here of things we're going to try it on. So what you have to do first is draw something. We're not going to get fancy here. You just have to draw something with the markers. And then you have to go and iron it. They say to use one of their heat presses or like their easy presses. Essentially, you need to be able to get the material, whatever material you're ironing, up to 400 degrees without it being destroyed. And then with no steam either, because there's no steam with the easy press. So I've got my iron over there and my ironing board. We will go over there when we're ready. Until then, let's get doodling, I guess. They say that when you do the transfer, it's permanent and will never come off. Unlike their vinyl heat transfer, that is not permanent, and you can't really machine wash or iron because it's vinyl. So it's not permanent, and that's disappointing. So I want these to work really badly. And yes, this video will come out even if it fails, because we need to know. So I'm going to do a little bit of each color. We've got a bunch of different materials, and let's see what I've got. I've got a linen blend scrap. These are from making my headbands. More scraps from that. This is, I don't know what this material is, but it's very thin and very light. Then I've got a polyester that kind of looks like silk. Again, just a scrap of fabric. Then I have some suede in this nice tan color. This is one I can't use because it's the folded hem that's been glued down, so I can't really use that for anything. And then I have a lot of this white leather. I really want this white leather to come out, so I'm only going to use a little bit of it. I can't really use this to cut earrings, but this would make a great bag because the material is just a little too soft, I guess. So yeah, all right, these will also fit in your Cricut Explore Air or your Maker or whatever Cricut machine you have. You pop out your blade, or you can put them in the other side if you've got that extra spot. And you can program in Cricut Design Space what you want it to draw, and it will draw it for you. You'll still have lines or like spots where it pauses and things like that, but it could be fun to do. I like the color of this purple one. It's quite a dark, like grape purple, like grape pop. I want to see if you have to put everything in reverse. I'm assuming you do. You should know that you can also get heat resistant tape that will hold your design down when you're pressing it, which is really important so it doesn't move around. Right, that's enough doodling of that one. Ooh, okay, so this pink marker here that was supposed to be red actually comes out more like a really deep fuchsia. All right, let's cut these all apart here. They started to bleed through the page a little, but they didn't get onto the next paper. This paper is quite thin, so okay, let's hack this up. So because this is not like your typical iron-on transfer where you have all that extra like plasticky crap around the edges, you don't have to cut it real close. You've literally only drawn on a very small part, so you don't have to worry about trimming this unless you're trying to like match it up really well. So I'm gonna crank my iron here from synthetic all the way to linen. It doesn't tell me how much that is, and then I'm gonna turn off the steam. I really hope my iron still works. I dropped it on the floor a couple days ago. Okay, so I've got my drawings here. They're nothing special. Let's start with something that should in theory be easy. Let's start with some linen. My iron is already up to temperature. Okay. I'm going to put this little chocolate lump. I don't know really what I was drawing, but okay. Okay, well, it transferred. Guys, it transferred. Look. We'll have to like wash it. And it's not crusty at all. It's very smooth. I'll have to like wash it to see how it goes, but all right. This is encouraging news. Okay, let's try this really thin one here. I'm gonna do it on 2 layers, like, and see if it bleeds through. This is like the leftovers from making a bunch of headbands, so it does look a little mangled. And I'm gonna do this lovely piece of art. Just gonna lay that down there. 30. Very little transfer with this one. And my name is backwards. So you do have to write in reverse. This one, I'm not even sure if you guys will be able to see it. It's very light. So this one, oh, it transferred through to the ironing board though. So I would recommend putting down like a press cloth underneath that you're not afraid to get gross. Okay, so this one is like a super polyester and could in theory actually melt when I iron it. It looks and feels sort of like silk, but it's not. And I know this because I'm well trained. Okay. Which, I'm gonna do the tree. The tree can go on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 29, 30. Okay, well, it transferred. It transferred really well, and it did not go through, so that really thin one, look at this, look at it. It's so bright and vibrant. Way different than the way it actually shows up on the paper. And it didn't melt my, yeah, it feels great. I'm really excited to wash these, to be honest. The leather will be a little different. We'll have to just like get it wet. Okay. I'm gonna try the suede now, because suede I've actually ironed before and it got all crusty, but that was because I put steam on it. So, I have this little patch here that isn't doubled up, and I've got my little flower, so we're just gonna set that. It almost doesn't fit. Whoops. Okay. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Alright. So, it didn't evenly transfer, and I've certainly pressed the suede down and it'll have to be brought back to life, but it's not crusty, it's not rubbing off as far as I can tell, so encouraging. I'm very encouraged by this. Okay, next, let's do the leather. I just want like a small patch. I'm gonna do this section up here. Alright, so I'm just transferring some scribbles. Ready, steady, go! 1:30. Alright then. Okay, so it transferred, but I burnt the leather. So I'll give you guys all the better close-up on these, but I definitely burnt it. There is some charring, but it transferred, except so the iron has holes, right? And the reason why they tell you to use heat press is because it's flat all over. Well, it doesn't transfer very well where the holes are. So as long as your design is small, like, and fits in the very center of your iron, then you should be fine. I'm just gonna turn this off. Alright, so here's a close-up of the different pieces. This is the leather. As you can see, it's burnt. This one changed color, so here's the original color. Here is the flattened color, and you can see there are some spots where there was holes in my iron where the steam would come out, and that didn't transfer very well, but it still transferred. We've got the polyester that looks like silk. This transferred really well. It did not bleed through to my mat. This is what the pink transfers to. So remember I said it looked like magenta? Well, when it transfers, it's purple. And again, it did not transfer very well. Wherever there were little steam holes, it did not transfer. This one barely transferred at all. I'm not even sure you guys can see that. It's too thin, the material is too thin. So this one is definitely, this material is a fail. And then the chocolate blob. This one transferred really well. it did not go through to my ironing board. And so I'm gonna go now and rinse all of these and see if it comes off. I have rinsed everything, and the leather has still, it's not turned crusty, it's not rubbed off. Well, yeah, wherever it didn't, yeah, it's not coming off. It stretches really nicely with the leather. Yeah, there's no transfer at all. The only thing I would say is that wherever, if you're using just an iron and not an easy press, then you need to like pick up your iron and move it around a little, and kind of experiment. Don't just go like right in with it on your final thing. Try it out a few times. Then, so this is still quite wet. This did not come off. It's a very crude Christmas tree. This is the polyester that kind of looks and feels like silk. It worked really well. I think this is the one I'm most pleased with in terms of how bright it came out. This was with the black marker, and it's not really a black. It's like a dark, deep navy blue when transferred. Maybe I could have been stronger with my marker, or like gone over it a few times. That might have helped, but I'm really encouraged by these results. So the chocolate lump didn't transfer, didn't move around at all. You can see there's a spot here where it was over a steam hole on the iron, and so nothing really transferred, but otherwise I'm really pleased with these results. And if you were willing to, like, you know, take the time with your iron to do it, this could be really good. I am very pleased with this. Alright, so I hope that answered your questions as to whether or not you can use your Cricut Infusible ink markers on something other than the Cricut blanks. This was a pleasant surprise. I was honestly thinking nothing was going to work, and so I'm really pleased with the results, even if I did burn some leather and it smells really weird in here now because of all the things I just ironed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if there is another product that you would like me to test out in terms of craft materials, please let me know and I would be happy to try it out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!